What's the most mind-bending fact you've ever learned that made you question everything you thought you knew?
The Scottish Highlands are part of the Appalachian Mountains, because the Appalachian Mountains predate the continental drift.
Freshwater eel blood is more toxic to mammals than most other venoms that exist across the animal kingdom.
The amount of sky that JWST took in for its deep field image is equivalent to a grain of rice held at arm's length. That image contains over 5,000 galaxies. Not stars, galaxies.
That's fiddler crabs have the same ratio of left-clawed crabs as humans have left-handed people.
When the moon is at apogee, farthest distance from Earth, all other 7 planets could fit between the Earth and the moon. It's insane to me that the moon is that far away, breaks my brain.
Velociraptors were apparently the size of chickens, not people size.
Sharks are older than trees, the Rocky Mountains, the rings on Saturn, and the North Star.
Not quite as reality-shattering as some tidbits here, but the lighter was invented before matches.
If your immune system finds out you have eyes, it will destroy them. Ocular immune privilege.
Chainsaws were first invented for childbirth.
I love that light experiences no time. Even though light travels billions of years to get to us, it experiences the journey as instant due to its speed. The speed limit of the universe is so interesting.
This is a long one, but here we go. The human brain contains multiple consciousnesses. In a healthy brain, they all get synthesized into a single consciousness, but in abnormal humans they are separate and can control limbs independently. People who have severe epilepsy sometimes get a surgery called a corpus callosotomy to separate their left and right brain hemispheres, which can result in split brain syndrome. The experiments that scientists run on these people can have insane outcomes. People report trying to get dressed with one hand and the other hand trying to take their clothes off at the same time. Since only one brain hemisphere controls language, one hemisphere doesn't have access to words to tell the owner what it wants. This fact changed everything about how I think about my own consciousness and what it means to be human. Absolutely shattered my world.
Animals can be allergic to humans.
Learning that a strawberry isn't technically a berry, but an avocado is.
This is going to sound odd, but when I discovered a thing called déjà rêve. It's similar to déjà vu, but the key difference is that you have felt that you have dreamed of the scenario you are currently living, not previously lived it. At least once a week I experience this occurrence. As a child, I thought I was psychic and so did my mom. But alas, it's just another dumb thing human brains like to do. Made my childhood less special.
Canned food debuted 50 years before the can opener.
Space itself is expanding at a rate faster than the speed of light, which is the fastest anything can go. There are theories but no explanation.
Quantum entanglement. It legit broke my mind. Even Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. I was reading A Brief History of Time when I came across it, and I made sure I read it several times to make sure I was reading it right. It basically states once two particles are entangled, doesn't matter how far apart you put them, 10 miles or 100 miles or 10 light years apart, once you measure spin of one particle, it will instantly affect the other one. What the heck? Even if they are on different ends of the universe? Instantly? Does that mean this whole thing is made of the same fabric? How else is that possible? As a staunch atheist, I never believed in anything mystical, but this made me think about the universe and what life is in new ways, and I genuinely couldn't sleep for a whole week. It was scary. But soon after I slowly came to terms with it and my life changed for the better in ways I couldn't have imagined. I've been fascinated with quantum physics ever since, and the more I learn the more I realize how much we don't know about it, meaning how much we don't really know about our reality.
3% of people on death row are innocent. It completely changed my opinion on the death penalty and led me to re-examine a lot of my other beliefs.
Space stuff will always get me. As will this one that I'll probably mess up, so please someone correct me if you take 2 super accurate clocks and put one at the airport and one on an airplane that then takes off and flies around the world. When the airplane returns to the airport, its clock will read a different time than the airport one. Time dilation, relativity, gravity, something Einstein.
Philadelphia cream cheese is from New York.
When I realized that every cell that make up my children is literally half of me and half of my wife's genetic material, and still they have an autonomous identity and consciousness, and every time my son says that he loves me, it's on the one hand a unique combination of genes that will never exist again and has never existed before, telling me that it loves me. And on the other hand it's part of me telling me that I love myself.
McDonald's hot coffee lady. I saw the headline when it came out, laughed at the typical Karen / typical litigious Americans, and moved on. Years later I found out the truth, and since then it has changed everything about the way I see all news. Once the thread had been pulled, the whole thing was unraveled, and I can't go back to seeing it like before.
Whales have vestigial back legs. Bones are still there, just under the skin.
Every deck of shuffled cards is unique. That order has probably never happened before and will probably never happen again.
First time I watched Pale Blue Dot, I was suddenly overcome by this horrible existential dread that calmed into an understanding and peace that nothing any of us does really matters, and that we should just try to be happy and make life a little better for those we care about.
When you lose weight, the mass leaves your body via your breath. Carbon is the most common element in your tissues. This mass is excreted as carbon dioxide in your breath.
Not very mind-bending for most, but I was like 19 when I realized how corrupt and exploitative governments and corporations really are. I grew up very sheltered and religious, and I felt so free and excited to live when we escaped the church, as it was toxic and abusive. I can't describe the panic and grief I felt after I realized the whole world is toxic like that, even worse in a lot of ways, and I won't be able to escape it this time.